Okay, welcome to Ted Investigates. Good morning, everyone. What is today? God, I feel like I've been doing these live streams nonstop. Happy Thursday. It's almost Friday. Friday's almost here, everyone. Today, we're going to be going over the top true crime cases and some of the updates on what is going on around the country. And then we're going to tie it back to obviously my most passionate subject, which is Delphi. But for right now, we're going to check in with some of the other true crime cases. We're going to briefly go through them. Let's check out this creep job. Rex Huermann. This guy is the devil. This guy is the worst, one of the worst human beings to ever. Hey, what's up, Jenny? Hey, Donald. Hey, everybody. All right. I want to check in with Rex Huermann. What's really sad and really unfortunate, when there's sex workers, a lot of times these people go, they get swept under the rug. A lot of people look the other way. The media doesn't cover them. What got me really excited about this case is it had enough publicity to actually give these victims a name and identity and actually care about these people. And because they're human beings, and for whatever choices they make in life, so be it. But it's still someone that got murdered, that got their life taken away, and it's absolutely not right. Hey, Disco Dinosaur, what is up? All right. So let's give you a quick update on the Rex Huermann. Look at this monster. This guy had a basement that he wouldn't allow his wife to go down with like a 15-inch thick steel door torture chamber. I mean, this is just Hannibal Lecter stuff. All right, so I'm going to give you a quick update. So the Gilgo Beach suspect, Rex Huermann, is to stand trial finally after Labor Day. So they don't have the specific day yet, but at least we have progress in the case. They have enough. The prosecution has enough information to finally get this guy and have justice served. Rex Huermann has pleaded not guilty to the murders of 7 women. Okay. Accused Gilgo Beach, New York serial killer Rex Huermann will stand trial shortly after Labor Day, a judge said during a Tuesday hearing. Huermann has pleaded not guilty to killing 7 women whose remains were found on Long Island. The trial date comes as Huermann requests to suppress certain evidence and dismiss one of the charges. Among the statements the defense is trying to exclude is when Huermann was arrested outside of his Midtown Manhattan office. He had an architectural firm. Basically, what he would do is he would make sure that the buildings were up to code. So if you were buying a building or looking at an older building and they were out of code, he would kind of jerry-rig it and get it into code and fight with like the city council's office. Prosecutors quoted him saying, "What is this about?" And it's a mistake. Prosecutors also quoted him asking the officers and agents, "What did I do?" According to the defense filing. Also, when court officers reviewed Huermann's property after his arrest, he allegedly said his $6,000 watch, I guess they won't be needing that. Defense attorney Daniel Koish wrote that the statements were involuntarily made and may not be used in evidence against him. This is all kind of just gibberish here. The defense is also seeking to suppress evidence seized from Huermann's home, office, cars, and rented storage unit, along with DNA evidence. Yeah, right. The judge has already denied an attempt by Huermann to exclude DNA. Nice try, defense. There's no chance in hell that's happening. But now the defense argued the DNA evidence was obtained through an unreasonable search of a Manhattan garbage can. That's how they get you. I mean, most of these cold cases, detectives follow people around. They see where they blow their nose. They see what they eat, what they throw in the trash. That's just how we catch them. And typically they throw them into like an Ancestry.com and it connects the DNA. Where investigators said they discovered discarded pizza crust that links Huermann to the murders. In the same filing, Huermann's attorney are seeking to dismiss the murder charge of the 1993 death of Sandra Castile. Prosecutors link Huermann to a hair lifted from Castile's shirt, but the defense calls that insufficient. I think at this point, anything this guy, any hair, anything on this guy is definitely him. He's definitely the serial killer. This evidence, even if accepted as true, does not establish that Huermann killed Sandra Castile. Well, the thing is, when you kill so many people and they find your wife's hair and your hair in burlap on all these bodies, okay, it's you, right? And they find all the searches online, how to chop up a body, how to dispose a body, how to hide evidence, how to cut somebody into pieces without it too bloody, how to do torture, sexual videos, how to, make somebody almost at the verge of death and then resuscitate him and then kill him again. Unfortunately, you had a treasure trove, okay? You had a treasure trove of evidence of Google searches that are going to place you in jail for the rest of your life. Let's check up with the chat. Jenny said, Rex Huermann's uncle was a pastor and has been accused of assault on kids for years, but he's never got prosecuted. He's friends with the police chief that covered up Gilgo for years. Oh, so that's why that case, because I know that police chief was super shady, and he was one of the main reasons. And now it's really tying a bow on it and making it really clear that that's why they didn't catch him, because they had the description of that guy's car, that avalanche, and that police chief was really corrupt. And that's funny that you said that. That really ties a bow on it. Yeah, let's see what Fig said. Yeah, years ago I worked in a big box hardware store and encountered a similar snowbird-style contractor. Gave me beyond heebie-jeebies. Yeah, I bet. All right, let's finish up this article. Having some of my coffee here. This evidence, even if accepted as true, does not establish that Mr. Huermann killed Sandra Castile. It pains me to read this, what the defense says, because, this guy, it can't be any more obvious. Nor that he acted with the intent to cause her death. The prosecution presented no eyewitness testimony, surveillance footage, digital evidence, phone records, even though they had him at that cell phone store buying about 1 billion different burner phones, linking him to like every single place where the murders occurred. So let's skip through this. Okay, so that's the update there. Basically, the update on Rex Huermann. We're going to get the trial. It's going to be after Labor Day, and hopefully we can stream the trial. I think it's going to be a pretty quick trial. I think it's going to be done in a couple weeks. I can't see this going too long. This guy's left a treasure trove of stuff. Let's see. New York Post. Gilgo Beach serial murder case. Judge blows gasket over Rex Huermann's lawyers. I assume that's the same article. Okay, let me double check. To begin after Labor Day. Come hell or high water, Rex Huermann trial set to begin. That's what the judge said. Let's see, Judge Warren. So basically the judge is not letting the defense get any chance for whatever reason to stall this trial anymore. Thank God. Good morning, Franny Fran. Nice to see you. So basically, hey, what's up, Donald? Hey, everybody. So basically, Rex Huermann cannot delay or suppress the DNA or do any of this. And then again, just like to say a prayer to the victims because of how terrible it is. I think he's actually murdered a lot more people. He's had properties across the country. There's so many missing people. Let's see what Critter Mama has to say. This case really scares me. All those missing people, why wouldn't there be routine searches in unpopulated areas? Seemed like they would do training in these remote areas. Yeah, they did look at other different properties. Again, sex crime workers, it's really sad. Sex workers, they tend to look the other way into the very end. And then exactly what Jenny said. Oh, hey, Francie, what is up? Thanks for being a member. And it's really what Jenny said. There was a corrupt police chief that was actually, I didn't realize to that extent about Huermann's uncle, but I also know he was involved in a lot of other corrupt stuff. And as soon as they removed him and put a specific Huermann task force in charge, I forgot the gentleman's name, within a month, that case was pretty much unraveled and solved. And it was, you look up that Chevy Avalanche he drove, that specific color, and you do a database search on that, and there's not many of those cars left at that particular time. And then you kind of do that was a smoking gun right there, figuring out who it is. His wife was out of town. Okay. So we got Rex covered here. There's Rex doing his online dating profile. How would you like to meet this guy? Holy cow. And like, I remember on News Nation or Court TV, they were talking about a lot of the girls that went on dates with him and giving people, he was giving people the heebie-jeebies. Man, this guy was crazy. Just zero empathy, total, just disgusting. And he's 6'5" too. He is a tall glass of water. It's tough to fight off someone that tough. I don't care if you're a woman or a man. That guy's a big monster. I mean, he looks like Shrek, that's 10 feet tall. Very scary individual. If you ever see his hands, I watched the interview. If you guys ever look up, there's a publication. It's like a French magazine or a magazine that covers small businesses. And they went in, and I'm sure you guys seen this, but they went into Rex Huermann's office to talk about his business and basically highlights people's businesses. And he said, my favorite tool to get things done is a carpenter's hammer. And his eyes are just black. I've never seen a guy with such black pupils. It's just freaky. Yeah, exactly. I wonder if some of those cops went to Indiana. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I mean, anybody, that's funny, Jenny. Anybody 6'9", that is a tough person to handle. And then if they're a serial killer, that's crazy. All right, on to a really, really, really tragic story. You have a dentist, a couple that's been married, enjoying their life, having kids, living the American dream. And then you have a vascular surgeon, an ex-husband, jealous after 7 years. They didn't have kids together, okay? And that's still not an excuse. But you had this guy sitting there. He's been married to her for 2 years, and he's just sitting there boiling and being agitated to do this type of horrific crime. What I want to know, let me see if I can look up. Did he have a key to, how did he get in the house? Did he just ring the doorbell and they're like, oh, it's my ex-husband? Or no, I guess she was scared of him already. So let me see if there's any more updates on the Spencer Tepe case. I find that strange how he got in the house and there was no break-in. All right, so all right, let's look here. Let's go to a New York Post article real quick. Psychosurgeon, he was a vascular surgeon. Michael McKee would torment, we know that, Monique Tepe. She had to get away. The family of the Idaho couple gunned down in their home said allegedly Michael McKee would torment ex-wife Monique Tepe during their short marriage before he allegedly broke into her house. I thought it was I broke into her house, or just I guess broke into her house, but I thought there was no signs of forced entry, and murdered her and her second husband. She just had to get away from him. Monique's brother, Rob Misley, who I put a phone call into, and we were trying to talk to him. Good Morning America told Dr. Michael McKee on Wednesday as police revealed they believe they found the murder weapon at the vascular surgeon's Illinois home right in Rockford. Rough neighborhood. Miss Slay said McKee was emotionally abusive to Monique during their brief marriage, which lasted from 2015 to 2017 before they divorced, citing incompatibility, according to divorce documents. Myself and many others were well aware of kind of the negative impact that he had on her and the abuse that he put her through, the torment that he put her through. She was a very strong person. The pair had no children together, and Monique, 39, married her new husband, Spencer Tepe, 37, in December of 2020. McKee, 39, is accused of breaking into the Tepe's Columbus home in the middle of the night, December 30th, and shooting them in their bedroom, leaving their two young children unharmed. He was arrested more than a week later on Saturday in Rockford, Illinois. Man, that's 45 minutes where I live. After police traced his car to the scene the night of the murders, Columbus Police Chief Elaine Bryan on Wednesday described the killings of a targeted attack. We know that. Multiple weapons were taken from the property of McKee, and there is a preliminary link to one of the weapons that ties into the homicide. He appeared in the court of Illinois on Monday, but not enter a plea. But Assistant Public Defender Kerry Pointer told the judge he intended to plead not. We want this person that took so much from not just us as a family, but so many more people, and obviously the kids especially. We want this person to pay for what he did. McKee is charged with 2 counts of murder. Court documents say he is scheduled to appear in court in Winnebago County on Jan 23rd for an extradition hearing, after which point he will be brought to trial. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this just gets sick. I'm sure Rex had a body. Yep, I'm sure Rex did have a body count in New Jersey and all those other places. I definitely guarantee it. Okay, wait. Let me catch up to some of the chats here. This case makes me angry. If we tracked, femicide actually did. Holy cow, it just disappeared. Did something about rising rates of DV, divorce. This may never happen. The guy needed court order to help us from his obsession. Yeah, there's something really, really loopy about this guy. Critter Mama. Unfortunately, though, and it gets worse. Okay, now I'd like to talk about Holman. Holman is as worthless as it gets. Detective Holman is a predator. He is someone that any of us, you, me, your kids, our kids, anybody, this could happen to. He targeted somebody on purpose and lied. Obviously, detectives can lie when interrogating, but he kept saying the experts. He is just a bad dude. He needs to be looked into. He needs to lose his job. I don't know if he's still retired. Let me look it up. Detective Holman. This guy's a terrible person, and we need to really speak out. Major liar, major corrupt person. I don't know how you could ever do that to somebody. He even at one point during the interview was like, don't be the fall guy. It's like, all right, well, if you think this is the fall guy, you don't even believe in your own damn story. Let's see what's up in the news with Jerry Holman. Detective Jerry Holman is a prominent Indiana State Police lieutenant known for his key role in ruining the life of Richard Allen. Using interrogation tactics and building rapport. He barely built any rapport, with testimony being a focal point. By 2014, Lieutenant Holman became an investigator squad leader. Here we go. Okay, so no. Oops, sorry, I'm just reading something else. Okay, let's read some of these other things. Okay, this is from someone on Reddit. I don't think you're a bad person. That's what Jerry Holman said to Rick. Why would Holman say this to the person he suspected brutally killing 2 teenage girls? The evidence clearly indicates you are involved in this, Jerry Holman. Again, yet another strange comment to a person suspected of murder, clearly involved. I don't think you're a bad person. You're going to drag your wife and daughter through this because you're too effing bullheaded to get out in front of this and admit your mistake. And whatever the F happened, but they'll never effing know because you're too big of an effing. I mean, this guy's nuts. Richard Allen's defense team wants that October 26, 2022 tape of their client excluded from this trial. Why? Allen must have said something to Holman that they want suppressed. I don't know if I'm going to read this because I feel like you should show that interview. I feel like that is the number one thing you should show. It definitely is a terrible embarrassment. Yeah. You know, the whole thing about police allowing, being able to lie, on a case-by-case basis, but like, Melissa Oberg and being who she is and how, let's try to call Melissa Oberg. Would you guys be open if I found her cell phone number and try to get her on the phone right now? Melissa Oberg is the forensic and ballistic scientist that chambered Richard Allen's gun and said it was his gun. I'd love to talk to her. You think I should try to get her on the phone? And if not, if you guys feel uncomfortable, I totally understand. Yep, they ruin families and walk away to the next. Okay, give me a second here. Let's search. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I'm still going to try. I do have an app where I can make it look like I'm calling from a different place. So like yep, exactly. So like, I mean, I'm not going to do it because it's against the law, but I can make it look like the Delphi police station is calling Melissa Oberg. I have that app capability. but again, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to call from my phone. But I can make myself appear to be any single phone number and call anybody. It's a crazy app. I'm not going to say what it is. I got it from a buddy of mine who's in the law enforcement. Okay, let's see. Where is Melissa out of? Melissa Oberg. Let's see her. Let's see this nasty lady. What do you think? Just Delphi, or you think she's in like Lafayette or Melissa Delphi? I think I can just search just around. Fast people search. Oh, guys, I forgot to tell you. So, yeah, exactly. So I forgot to tell you. So like, I'm trying to donate. I'm trying to find, I didn't realize like Kathy Allen didn't want donations. There was a donation, Justice for Rick Allen, and I might be having the website name wrong, but there's a Justice for Richard Allen, and you can't donate to it anymore. And again, I don't want anybody to be a member if they can't afford it or donate. I just posted saying, hey, please donate. And this person's like, I'm from the Legion. I'm reporting you. You're reporting me because I'm asking someone for $1.99 that I'm going to try to donate $1.99 to helping a cause. And this person's like, I'm from the Legion of Boom or whatever the heck they're from. And I'm like, why are you giving me your credentials of whatever the heck that is? I just thought it was in such fair taste. Like, I'm looking for websites. So if any of you know places where you can donate, because when I search, it's hard for me to find. So we may have to start out with donations to like women sexually, being abused or stuff like that too, because I can't find anything on the Richard Allen. I don't know if I need to start a nonprofit toward him or should I call him? Like, I don't even think you can get him commissary money when I looked it up. Does anybody have any suggestions? I can't even see this screen. I'm like blind as a bat. All right, I'm going to try to call her too. But yeah, please, if someone can really help me find donations, I know you're busy too with your lives, but like anything, I wrote Allen's defense attorneys. No one got back to me. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Fig. 100%. I read that in the appeal. Ober documented that bullet wasn't a match, but stated otherwise in trial. I think hers is the kind of corruption where someone said, hey, this is our guy, but we need more proof. Exactly. Very true on that. All right, let me look up Melissa Oberg. Okay, let's just do a broad search. I wonder if I should just let's do Indiana first instead of like a city in Indiana. Oh, hey, and I'm going to be taking a trip out to Delphi. The weather has caused us not to. It'll be in February. All right, everybody. Melissa Oberg, 43 years old. You think she either lives in Indianapolis, Evansville? There's only two, Indianapolis or Evansville. What do you guys think? Yeah, Keith, you made a great point. Oh, it disappears every time I do it. Keith, you made a great point. Like, I do run my own business as well, and it'd be a lot of pain in the butt. Okay. Evansville. All right, we'll call her in Evansville. So what what like, I don't know if I would call this a donation, but what if I had a big billboard outside of Oklahoma, and I would front it with my business income as well, like free Richard Allen, or could I put something about Holman up there as like being a corrupt cop, or is that like against the law because he's an active detective, or is that freedom of speech? I guess I should consult with an attorney. Interesting, Jenny. Someone told me that on the last live stream. Can you donate to a channel for Richard Allen research to help free him, or even send one of your mods a donation for Richard Allen research? Yeah, I just want to legally do it. I mean, I guess I got to look into it. I've heard someone else ask that. It might have been you, but I thought someone said that. If you want a civil suit, then do a billboard against Holman. I mean, I'd fight a civil suit. Again, he'd probably win, right? If I got a big picture of him. I wonder, yeah, you can't put a picture of somebody up, right? Or can you put, I wonder if I could put like the Delphi case was mishandled by law enforcement. Yeah, I guess you could sue anybody for any reason. I'm definitely going to put up a billboard though. Like, so in the business that I do, I represent a lot of different like medical companies, and part of what I sell them is included with like billboards. So I have a lot of connections in account executives that work at billboard companies, and they give me deal. Like, for example, Lamar, I don't expect you guys to know what billboards are, but like when somebody purchases a new medical device, a $400,000 medical device that they want to use, they want to advertise it. And sometimes we'll throw in a billboard. So I have a lot of connections with like Lamar. Lamar's a pretty big billboard company in the Midwest where I can get it drawn up and I can get a pretty good deal where, most people, it might cost $20,000, and I might be able to get it for $5,000. And then if it's digital, it's a little cheaper because it depends on how many times an hour it'll actually show your billboard. But I want to get one that's up all day long with bright lights too. You get the lights up, and then even that says like Ted Investigates, and it has me with a middle finger. Yep. Okay. So I've yep. So I've done stuff in South Florida, like I cover the entire nation, and I've done a lot of work. In South Florida is, of course, a lot more expensive. When we're talking like these flyover states, smaller towns, Midwest, lot less cheap. But yeah, South Florida could be $20,000 and up 100%. I wonder if I could even use that as a tax write-off too. Like, no, probably not. Let me see. For instance, donate to criminal. She has a fund for donations to get Rick's paperwork. She keeps receipts and is very up to. Okay, criminally TY. Everybody keeps saying that. It just takes me a lot of time to reach out to these people. I am having 2 new guests on next week that you will know. They are famous with the case. They have been on. News Nation and Court TV. So at least it'll be a little bit exciting next week with that. Let's see. Who's your okay, Teresa. Okay, because legally when I'm asking for donations, the way you and I know a lot of you guys have your own channels too, but like YouTube pays whatever revenue is, and again, I'm going to be paying for my business. The revenue I generate on this channel is, YouTube takes a percentage and it's not enough, but YouTube pays in February. And if I'm going to sit on here and say I'm going to donate to Richard Allen and then I don't donate, that's fraud. So I have to donate somewhere, something to do with Delphi case, no matter what. So I think, let me just write that down. Criminal, oh, please. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Fig. Email you. Yeah. Email me that because I have to show a donation, especially like, hey, YouTuber goes to jail or a fraud investigation over $100 in super chats. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, Jesus God. Wait, Keith, let me see that real quick. If you had a YouTube name on the board, you could, for advertising against the 1099. Oh, okay. Interesting. Smart. I'm going to take a screenshot. I'm going to write that down for a second. Smart. Okay. Yep. I tried emailing both his lawyers on his page. Let me find that again. Here, I emailed both of them. One was an info at the law firm, and then the first guy was actually his email. I did that 2 days ago. I didn't hear back. Okay, perfect. That's what I'll do for the time being. So when the money hits, I'll donate to her, and then I'll keep looking, obviously, because we are going to go to Oklahoma. We're going to go to Delphi. A lot of my buddies are going to be coming with me, and they're all like ex-college football linemen and stuff. So they're big boys. They've been with me a long time. So we're not like worried about anybody in terms of like messing with us. I'm usually the one trying to get people to calm down. They're big boys. They're 6'4", 300-pounders, and there's about 5 or 6 of them. So we'll be walking around Delphi, being very nice to everybody. But if there's going to be like issues, those guys are going to sit on you. You know what I mean? Yep, I'm going to try again. Yep, for sure. Okay, let's see. Let's call Oberg up. Yo, Oberg. Evansville. It's got to be Evansville. Melissa Ann Oberg. Let me see her house. Let's see how big. I'm not going to display, obviously, her house. I just want to see. Sometimes when you see how big, okay, she doesn't have a big house. Like, so when you look up, just for fun, if you look up somebody, or if you like look up, which I shouldn't even say, but like people that have a higher status and you're unsure if they have a common name, you look at their house, and if their house is worth like $2 million, it's them. You know what I mean? Like, I was joking with a buddy of mine who's, we're like, we enjoy sports. And I was like, hey, watch, I can find this person's address. And he goes, no way, you can't find this person's address or cell phone number. And I'm like, well, let's just click on the house. And it's at a $3.5 million house. I'm like, well, what professional athlete that's a hockey player that has that name has a $3.5 million house? You know what I mean? So it is pretty good, funny. Yeah, Judge Gall. Yeah, is another one. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. Adelphi CC mentioned you in their last video last night. They are eager to talk to you. Adelphi CC. Who's a Delphi CC? I'm sorry. It's a little earlier. A Delphi content creator? Thank you, Fran. Really appreciate it. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to keep up with everybody's stuff. Okay, yes. At USA Lib, yes. Is that you? Or we'll keep Fran still up. Don't forget to like the screen. Yeah, please. Subscribing also helps. So I have people that I work with in my business that are that I've known for years, that I've been telling them about the Richard Allen case, because we're just shooting the crap at a coffee shop. We're doing our sales, and they know how passionate I am about it, and I'm trying to get investor money from them. And my whole take is, if I can grow the channel big, I can kind of pay them back. But if they can give me money where I can like do major like commercials and stuff like that. Now, these people are, excuse my language, are like have FU money, meaning like they own successful private equity firms, hedge funds, and stuff like that, that they're willing to throw money at me due to our relationships. I would never take anybody's money, but because they have enough money where I've talked to them so much about this case that they want to ruffle feathers too, and they have the type of money. Like, I would never want anyone that either doesn't have money or has money, but they're saving for like retirement or anything. These people have plenty of money, and they're doing it in spite to bother people. So we want to get commercials going too, and putting on commercials on Delphi about how he was wrongly convicted. So we got a lot of crazy things in the works. Once I get the green light from that. So it's going to be pretty funny, because those are going to be going on all the time. The issue will be on the news channels. I want to play them on like the 5 o'clock news there. And I don't know if the 5 o'clock news will let you play free Richard Allen, but I know some of the like morning shows and stuff like that will. Yeah, so who are these troll farms? The issue will be from police and troll farm. Like, so for the police, I'll follow a civil lawsuit. Like, I have family members that are Chicago attorneys that will sue and will be thorn in their sides. Like, these are lawyers that are in the Sears Tower in Chicago. They will go after cops. And again, I'm pro cop, crooked. And the troll farm, we will sue the living heck out. Like, troll farm will go after your family, your kids. I mean, these people will all be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I have all my information already locked down. You can't figure out who I am, where I'm at. I'm sure they can. I'm sure hackers probably can. But thank you, Jenny, for the heads up. But they're going to meet fire with fire. And it might just be my Italian Americanness and all the Italian American people that I know in Chicago, and all the different people that are aldermans and stuff like that. I mean, I have my own group of people. So the troll farm can come get some. And again, I want peace. I don't want anybody bothering me. But you cross that line and you come after me, we're coming in as hard as we can. It's that Navy SEAL expression. SEAL Team 6 says, you meet fire with more fire. Okay. You meet violence. No, I shouldn't say violence. You meet threats and you step the threats up more. Okay. And not against any troll farm, but I have special operators in my family, and they always said, they go, hey, when the going gets tough, you need to meet the challenge, but then you need to up the ante. Thank you, Ginger Spice. That is awesome. Awesome. Thank you for the sticker. Sorry, I go off on my military stuff. I've never had a felony. I've never been in a fight in my life. So, but if law enforcement comes after me, I would love a nice lawsuit against them. Maybe I can make money off them. Yep. News on air proof. They don't care about the law. Holman. They don't care about the law. Holman helps some of the SWAT of creators. Yeah, I mean, Yep, I agree with that. Thank you, Ginger Spice, again for the super sticker. That is awesome. That's going to a good cause. We really, really appreciate that. That is awesome. Let's see. The Delphi Dirt. Bob at Defense Diaries could be a go between Allen's team. Yeah, we're trying to get Bob. Actually, he's not one of the guys yet, but I've texted him and we're going back and forth last night. Thank you. I think somebody recommended me reach out to him. I used to watch his defense diaries with like the Gacy tapes because his dad obviously was a defense attorney for Gacy. And I never knew that Gacy had more, he may have groomed those boys, but the boys that live with him, like Michael Rossi, was a person that lives in Wonder Lake, Illinois, and he was an accomplice of it. There was multiple people in the room when they were torturing boys. I always thought it was just Gacy. When you heard about the Gacy case, I must have been 7 or 8 at the time when he got the lethal injection. But when we heard about the case, you just assumed it was Gacy. Like, I think this was even before American Online. Like, no one had the internet, or if they did, it was only like super well-off people. So you just were like, hey, this guy's a serial killer. But now with the internet, you can look up things and you dig a little bit deeper, and now there's more and more shows on it. And I didn't even know he had accomplices or boys that he groomed that live with him. Delphi Dirt. Yep, I read that too. So Angela of R&M Productions is Holman tried to swap. She's open about it. So if I understand correctly, Holman tried to say like the person's suicidal and stuff. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, my parents will just go right after them. I mean, they're hot-headed Italian people, so they're not going to believe any of that. So, but no, I understand that's dealing with law enforcement, and I'm sure it was a tough time. But I would put every dollar of my business and all my resources, and I know mayors and politicians and stuff like that. I would go right after that guy. So not saying I would win and not saying he wouldn't make my life living hell, but if he ever did anything unlawful, I would never back down. Never. Over my dead body, I would never back down. I would sue to the fullest extent if someone ever did something like that. And I have enough resources, or I'd like to think I have enough resources where I would fight and fight. I'm a stubborn person. I would never give up. But that's horrible. When I found out about that, I mean, I don't want something like that happening to me. But once that line is crossed, then it's crossed. And then I'm going to, it's my time to return the serve. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Gacy's attorney was on the Dog Walk show, Barstool Chicago, a few years ago. Yeah, it was interesting. I just seen that actually. She was cyber stalked, and AI clones of her voice were allegedly calling and saying murderous threats. Holy cow! Now that's a different angle. God, how crazy is technology have gotten where things are getting like cyber stalk? Man, I didn't even think of that. But you know what? What's so funny is why are they doing this? If they think Richard Allen is guilty, if they truly believe that he is guilty, why does it even offend them? Why would they care? I wouldn't care public opinion. If I believed 100% I got the guy in jail, I would sweep that stuff to the side. That makes you look more guilty. You going after YouTube people? Because when you're a cop, you have all the information, supposedly. You have everything from the investigation. So that makes you look so much more guilty that you're pulling stunts like that. Because that means you're trying to quiet someone. That's like jury tampering. That's like what the Chicago outfit did when you're trying to, it's different, but like murder jurors, right? People that are going to speak. You're that threatened by people online because they're digging up dirt that you don't want them to find. Think of that. that makes you guilty, in my opinion. I mean, if I'm a cop and I'm doing my job and I truly believe this guy's guilty and we have enough evidence where he is convicted and I truly believe so, why would I mess with someone's YouTube channel? I would care less, because I know in the end, good prevails. But when you're shady and you have stuff to hide, you're paranoid. And when you're paranoid, you go to extremes to cover up stuff. Okay? Yeah, I mean, my no one would believe that in a second. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, no one believed that I would be anything to do with law enforcement or breaking the law. I've never broken the law. I don't have a misdemeanor. I would fight that to the fullest extent. I hope that never happens to me. I'm giving my opinion on why I think a person is in jail and why he shouldn't be in jail. I saw the interrogation with my own eyes. I would love to talk to Detective Huermann, because I watched thousands of interrogations. I've never seen one like that. I've never seen one that stuck out that clear of someone innocent. Believe me, I'm pro law enforcement. Okay. But I also know there's corruption in anything, whether law enforcement, whether it's workplace, whether it's anything, politics. There's corruption. That's just what it is. But my dad's a psychologist, retired, but when he's seen that, because I had to show him that, I'm like, Dad, is this me? Or is this person really innocent? Like, what is your opinion? And I didn't want to give him my side yet. I'm like, just look at this and tell me who you think, if he's guilty or not guilty. And he didn't even know the story. He's retired. He kind of remembered Delphi. He's like, oh, they got the guy. And I'm like, yeah, but just watch this interview for a second. And he watched it and was like, holy cow, that is obvious just by the guy's body language, by the guy's eye contact, by the guy's every single rebuttal Richard Allen said. You're not going to frame it on me. You can't frame it on me. I didn't do it. I don't care. Shrugging his shoulders like, hey, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, he's not a blabbermouth like me. I'd be going blah, 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 like Daffy Duck saying it wasn't me. Some people, laid back, good, just laid back guy, was like, what? It's not my bullet. Like, just shrugged it off. Like, was like, this guy, yeah, okay, whatever, Who is Proof? Is Proof part of a troll or something? I did have someone on Reddit say I was suicidal the other day, but it was a notification I didn't even notice. There's a case open in New York investigating him. Oh, no, I'm not talking to Proof. I've heard that now a few different times, so I have no clue what that's about. Judge Gall better not be on the case, man, because that case will be slammed shut. You know what I'm saying? Okay, thank you, Francie. Troll farm phrase is new to me. I'm open to learn more about this. However, I'm pro Richard Allen. Because ever since I started this channel, the troll farm phrase is new to me as well. I think it's like a group of individuals. I don't know if they all belong to the same group or they're all out to get people. Are they ran by law enforcement? I just don't know why Detective Huermann cares unless he's guilty, unless he's got a conscience. For all I know, he could have been a great cop at the beginning. Corruption happens, right? Like, I've worked in a sales environment for years, and you get hired by a company. They tell you to sell a product. All you're doing is trying to make money, right? You're making money for your family. All of a sudden, they got the science team, the R&D team, and this happens a lot in medical device and the pharmaceutical industry. They have these expert scientists, right? They bring you to these national meetings, okay? And they talk at a high level of what this medication will do and how it will help people and how it will benefit. And they use all these big science words, and they're using it to just a bunch of sales guys. Okay, they're a big name. They're a multi-million-dollar corporation. The salespeople all believe it. They have all beautiful literature. They have big, they're feeding you. They're giving you drinks. They have speakers that talk extremely polished, high-level IQ scientists and engineers on stage, and they show the physics of how they bind the different medicine together. Then you go out and sell it for 6 months, a year. You make a couple $100,000. You're excited. You're like, wow, I can pay off debt. I can do this and that. All of a sudden, now there's, cancer causing things, or there's, backfire, or you're writing prescriptions. You're making doctors write prescriptions off label. And now it becomes a big lawsuit and you didn't even know, and you got yourself stuck in that situation. And you originally only wanted to provide for your family, and it was a good job, and you heard it was a big name, right? So that could be the same thing that happens to law enforcement. When I was young, I wanted to be a cop. I did a ride along with the Illinois State Police. He showed me the gun room and where they keep the drugs and pulling over people. And, you do it long enough, they're clicks. You get to know people, the rookies start, you give the rookies crap. Then all of a sudden things happen and you get a person's back, right? A shooting happens. You take someone's side because you've worked with them for 10 years. What are you going to not take a side? You got to see them. Well, the media might be out to get you a little. I'm not talking about the national media cases where you're like in big, big trouble, but I'm saying, hey, you get investigated for shooting someone, the person lives. The body cam was off. You might say, hey, the guy did have a gun, or the guy looked like he pulled the gun, because that's a guy you work with day in and day out. You don't mean to be like that, but we're all human beings, right? We all can make mistakes in life. Sorry. Oh, no, you're not intending to offend anyone, Francie. You're wonderful. Francie's great. We love Francie here. You're not offending anybody. I'm sorry. I'm just rambling about trying to give Detective Huermann, even though he's just, in my opinion, he's very corrupt, but I'm just trying to give situations on what makes someone corrupt, right? Think of like, we're all babies at one point. We're all born as innocent children. And things happen in our life, the people we meet, the environment we're in, things can change us. That guy, now, I'm probably giving him too much of a benefit of the doubt. That guy, that guy is a villain. But again, I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble like a detective, and I don't want people hunting him down, right? I want justice served for Richard Allen. That's my goal. My goal is to pick apart an unfair trial. My goal is to pick apart an unfair interrogation. Now, there's a lot of interrogations that are like that, but they get the suspect. This guy's not a suspect. This guy's doing 130 years in jail for living his life, being in the military, doing everything. You have to have a voice for people because it could happen to us. He's sitting in a cell right now, sitting on a mat in solitary confinement, losing his mind. He's got a daughter. He had a job. He had neighbors. He cut his grass. He was a good guy. We have to fight for people. Oh, man. I'm sorry about that. No, we don't hate you because it's Fran. Not at all. We really enjoy you here, and thanks for being a member. Okay, here we go, Jenny. Troll Farm is a group of YouTubers in England, U.S. Oh, England. Soccer fans. They all think Rick is guilty and deserves everything he got. Some of them said if Rick was found not guilty, they would shoot Rick in court. Well, that's horrible. That's against the law. Anything with violence, then you will be going to jail for the rest of your life. So, I think the internet too, I think it causes people to say crazy stuff. But, again, yeah, there are wackos out there, and they're just as bad as the person that murdered the girls, right? You're going to shoot Rick in court? I mean, I'm sorry, but what kind of group of people get together? I mean, it's like stupid. Proof is someone who's been in this from the start like me. There's a difference of opinions and terrible doxing between groups. I just wonder who's in the middle of instigating some terrible things. I just don't understand why everyone can't have their own opinion and debate, like why everyone has to attack everyone for having their own point of view, right? I mean, the best form of dialogue is to freedom of speech, is to hear other people out. Just because we don't agree on everything doesn't mean we promote the violence, doesn't mean we attack each other. It should never get to that point, right? Legally, I want to try to get Richard Allen off free. By doing that, I don't want to harm other people. I don't want to affect other people's lives. Okay? Where we have to step up the ante is we have to point out corruption when there's corruption, 100%. But we have to be 100% sure it's corruption too. So we have to look on that side. This particular case, it's got national media headline. Everyone's thinking it's corruption. Okay? It's not just small channel like me or small channel like other people on YouTube. It's got major media's attention now. It's got a lot of attention. It's got a lot of eyes on the case. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Right. That's actually a great point. I've watched 3 cases, Delphi, Moscow, and List. Neither Koberger or Rex has been treated in the system like RA, and that shocks me. Yeah, that is the comment of the year. That, oh man, that just blows my mind to think about that. Kohlberger is getting vegetarian food made for him, or at least he was before he got transferred to his main prison. Lisk is treated like, my God, he got a haircut. He looks like he's got a, yeah, I couldn't agree more. That is the most pathetic thing I've ever heard. I've heard officers say shoot to kill because injuries are more paperwork. Yep, that's true. I have buddies that are police officers, 100%. Yep. But I have really good buddies that are police officers that really want to help people. And it's sad that right now all it takes is a couple bad cases, and officers, you got to be careful because officers are being targeted. Officers also help us. 911, there's good people that truly care and want to be that hero. And all it takes is a few bad seeds to ruin it for everybody. So that stinks. It's scary being a law enforcement officer today, especially a good one. And I do firmly believe a lot of them are good ones. And all it takes is a couple bad apples. And those bad apples, believe me, are really bad apples. It was reported to Huermann, I believe, the YouTuber stood there next to Huermann at trial armed. The YouTuber was allowed in court. It's on video, Huermann saying he's fine with the YouTuber and a gun. So is homeowner is Huermann like going after like every small content creator, or is there certain buttons you have to push? Guys, you mind if I take a quick bathroom break? I've been drinking water or coffee. But please, I want to stay on this Huermann topic. Don't go anywhere. This is very interesting. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back on stage. Let me see. Fig, I disagree. I'm not. Yep. So who is Erica Morse that wants to talk to me? There's been a few people texting me about this. I don't know who Erica Morse is. She was on the defense team. Like, is this a person willing to like chat, or like, what do you think she wants to chat about? And if you don't know, that's fine. Good morning, Shay. Wait a minute, I'm just catching up. Better. Yep, let's just all be friends here. It's not worth. Wait here. Wait. Well, I think you should give the proof a second chance. Or no, that's not for me. Investigator for the defense. Okay, so what is Eric Morse? I don't expect you to know. Yes, check out our recent videos on Delphi Dirt. I'm trying my best to check out all these videos. Today I got lucky with my work schedule. That's why I hopped on. But like, there's so many videos, and I have so many people that are telling me different things that my ADHD, I get like turned in all different directions. And there's so many different names because this case has so many different angles, from the defense attorneys to the judges to the detectives to all the different suspects to the witnesses that saw people on the bridge, that my mind just goes, and I'm like, what am I looking at now? And I'm like, even the word tentacles and the word crank, I'm like, what the heck is the word crank? Is that like a term for like a meth head? And again, I'm not against anybody that, has a drug issue. I hope you could help, but I'm like, crank, isn't that speed or something? And some guy reached out to me and said, hey, I'm a crank. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just doing a channel trying to help Rick Allen. I don't crank, no crank, Legion of Boom. You're in the NWO with Hulk Hogan, whatever you want to say. Or, I mean, God rest his soul, but, what do you want from me? Yeah, Victims News too. Who is Victim News? Victim News on Air is her channel. Oh, okay. Now I'm understanding it. Erica is on Victim News. Okay. Well, if she wants to email me, I'll talk to her, but I feel like I'm bothering people. Like, if I just reach out to her, is she going to reach out to me fast enough? I get busy during the day because I have to survive. Obviously, I have my own job. So if I'm a self-employed. So if I'm not making money and I'm like trying to chase people down when I need to be like serving my customers, that's where it kind of becomes tough, because it's like, well, I still got to do what I got to do during the day. But I will reach out to her. But I like to reach out to people that are easy. Just recently, I reached out to a really sweet lady. She is awesome, but we were playing a lot of phone tag. And, like a lot of you that have jobs, you work all day, right? And then at nighttime, you're playing phone tag. Well, if you miss a call or you call the person, you keep playing phone tag, you get tired, 7:30 rolls around, I'm ready to kind of like lay down or sleep or do a live stream. I just don't have the mental wherewithal, at my age, where I'm like, I kind of want to just lay down now. But I'll definitely reach out. Yes, Ted, do it. Trust yourself. You're doing fine without getting too many other video opinions. It will keep your perspective fresh and unique. Yeah, that's it. Crank is an insult turned reference, like Yankee. Interesting. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. No, she wants to reach out. Watch her latest video. She asked you to reach out. Okay. I'm going to watch it after this. And it's called, I'm sorry, it's called Victim on the News. Victim News on Air. Oh, and please, if anybody's new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I do a terrible job at telling people to subscribe. Usually when I do these live streams, I get like one extra subscribe. I used to get a lot more. It might be because it is all the subscribers watching, which is awesome. But I'm saying, please like would be the best part too. Okay, I'll definitely reach out to her. A lot of speculation. Let's see what this person said. A lot of speculation. What we know is what we really don't know anything. Yeah, that's true. Yes, Ted, do it. Oh, that's a cute little doggy. Okay, the Delphi dirt. Okay, I'm writing that down in my little book. The Delphi dirt, Erica Morse. Okay, one more second. Murder Sheet said R&M Productions were just a bunch of... Oh, so from my perspective, Jenny, and correct me if I'm wrong, R&M Productions, I watched one of her, I mean, it was long. It was like 5 hours, but she seemed okay, right? She seemed like a good person, or I mean, I haven't watched enough content. I watched probably an hour talking about Ron Logan. And then isn't Murder Sheet involved with like going after people too with Holman, or am I wrong there? That's what I heard. I don't know if it was Murder Sheet. Is Murder Sheet like a bad actor? I used to listen to Murder Sheet too, like before I even started my channel. Like Murder Sheet was a podcast I listened to. I didn't realize that these people have like are all like against each other. Oh, Murder Sheet or state PR. Interesting. This is precisely what I was informing at Ted about earlier in the chat. Thank you, Fran. See? R&M is good. She was on the Rick is innocent thing quite early on. Okay, that's what my assumption was too. Murder Sheet are at the center of stalking and crime scene leak scandal. Andy Copes uncovered. R&M has the best research, best I found. Yep, I agree. I agree with that. She was the first person I found. Wow. It's crazy how many different like layers to just like true crime there is. These people, let's see what Jenny has to say. Mostly she had some harsh opinions of what Kathy Allen decided to do, which I felt was way out of line, but she does generally care about Rick. Okay. Okay, so my action items for this victim news on air is we're going to do the Delphi. Oh, wait. Hey, Ted. Oh, wait. Hold on. I got a text. Okay, let's see what else we have. Yeah, you know, I do have to say, like doing videos, and I'm sure a lot of you do videos, like so like using Canva is extremely time consuming, extremely difficult. It is really a nightmare to do. Like the other day I did like just a 10-minute little video just to get something out on YouTube. And it took like 2 hours of and it doesn't even look like professionally done. And I don't know if I should get with like a producer, or like if there's freelancers that can help with like editing content, stuff like that, to make it more easier on me, because Canva, I'm learning Canva, but it is very difficult, very slow, very I'm not sure if it's for making videos. I've seen 20 to 30 awesome true crime channels start, get some subs, and troll channels, and they become arguing and blocking everyone. They get full of themselves and they lose why they started the channel. Yeah, yep. I've seen that too. I actually seen that happen on Gray Hughes Investigates, where and this was a few years ago. Like, I didn't know like the whole donation thing, what he was doing, but he got to the point where he had so many viewers, and then he was blocked. I think it was his mods too. They were blocking everybody, and then he was wondering why like nobody was on the channel some nights. I was like, well, you blocked everybody that watched you. Again, I'm not throwing shade at any channel. I just, funny you said that, because that made me think of that. I'm like, one time he was commenting, he's like, why is nobody on? And I'm like, well, I think it's probably because you blocked everybody. Read the interviews, lost interviews, changing evidence, so much going on here. I think criminality is excellent. I like the facts, real documents on screen so you can read for yourself. A problem too with the computer that's stuck in Bangladesh is I'm going to be able to share articles in my screen. If I share a screen right now and read you anything or play anything on Ron Logan or play anything on like Brad Holder, the entire computer will crash. That's why you have like these little cutouts that I create on Canva, because I'm a big fan. Like, I want to stream court TV and cases and hear people speak. I can't even stream a video on here, like a video within a video. Like, say if I wanted court TV and I wanted a lawyer to talk, and I could put it in a little box. I can even do that. Kathy, okay, criminality. Oh, okay. So Gray Hughes lives by you in Portland. Yeah, yep, for sure. If you say hi wrong, he blocks you. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Gray Hughes lives by you. Okay, so you must live in Portland. Gray Hughes is definitely a big no. Yep. I mean, I think he really gets testy with people. I don't watch it because of that. It becomes a channel where he's got information, but I don't want to talk bad about anybody's channel, but when we're, always looking for money on the channel, and that's kind of how it seems. It's like, why am I listening to this? What am I listening to? Just the same thing over and over. But again, I'm not trying to isolate anybody's channel out. He's got info, but the money just gets out of control. Asking for money, it's like, I just want to hear about the case sometimes, so every single time I watch Hughes coverage, I turn in while he was yelling at about, yeah, me too. That's what turned me off about it. Just like screens. I actually, at one point, I found it comical, because when I first was getting into this whole true crime thing, I'm like, wow, man, the tenacity here at just going after like the members. I was like, but then people donate. So I'm just like, I mean, I personally couldn't do something like that. I'd feel like I couldn't do it. But I just was like, I was laughing at first, because I'm like, yeah, you're gone out of the channel. But I can't do that. Oh, the trolls go after him left and right too. Every day that Jay said. Every Day with Jay said the same. Oh, yeah. How is Every Day with Jay? She's a good true crime podcaster, correct? Yeah, he is. And I do want to be able to like integrate Google Maps and show places as well. What other big cases are people interested in right now? I mean, I know there's the Spencer one was just recently. Is there anything else that, just out of curiosity? Yep, she is a genuine person. Summer Wells case. Okay. Yep. I did a little short video on that. I definitely want to look. Oh, do you know what else? Stephen Stearns was big, but I started my channel a little bit too late. I know Stephen Stearns was pretty popular. Yeah, the Kentucky sheriff who killed the judge. Yep, when spring comes, crime explodes. That's like the saying in Chicago. The first nice day, there's the most killings on the South Side. Sebastian Rogers. That's an interesting one. I believe it. I haven't heard about that, Baxter. Did anything come of the 2 missing kiddos in Canada? I have not heard of that. What about Idaho4? Do you think Idaho4 has kind of lost the steam until probably Kohberger gets murdered in jail? Yeah, you know what? That's actually a great point. I don't know if I want to dabble into that. I think it was Kohberger. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't. That's kind of like walking a fine line with me. I am open to hearing what people have to say about it, but I would need callers to call in and tell me. I'm just not going to like bring it up. I'm not opposed. Again, if I had to bet my life on it, it's 100% Kohberger in my mind, but I would be open to hearing people's opinion because there are a lot of people that think it's some type of cover up. So, you know, I'm not trying to isolate anybody. Me personally, I believe it's him. I do think, well, I guess because that Elantra was driving around so many times and it was just him, it's hard for me to think there's like another person involved. Because remember when he got caught, he was like, oh, there isn't anyone else. But, you know, I'd be open to hear a call in about it. To dedicate my channel to that or dedicate an episode to that, I feel like I would turn off a lot of people. Yeah. I've heard that the remaining roommates are suspicious. I mean, if anybody wanted to call in, I mean, it's interesting enough to hear it and hear that take on it. I'm not gonna like research it, meaning I'm not gonna put it together and speak on it on my show. But if we wanted to do a call in and you wanted to get us up to speed on it, I'd be all ears for it. Yep, for sure. Yeah. If it's something someone's passionate about, I'll hear about it. Yeah, the Zodiac, because of that last thing on Netflix with Arthur Leigh Allen, that pretty much. So when that Gary Post thing came out on the Zodiac, I really was starting to shift thinking it was Gary Post. But when Netflix came out with the children with Arthur Leigh Allen and they were with the children, that kind of put the nail in the coffin for that guy. You know, the Zodiac has been one of the most compelling cases of my life next to the Golden State Killer. But once that Netflix documentary came out and really went into grave detail about it and how the wife has always said, don't bring it up, that kind of was the nail in the coffin. Tupac, Biggie, Orlando Anderson, Keefe D, they jumped that guy on the Mike Tyson fight. They think it was Big Dre might have been the shooter because they saw a larger arm, or Orlando, was one of them. The other two guys are dead now, or that was big. Biggie, oh yeah, the Washington sniper. Are you talking about the Beltway sniper? The two that were in the Army Ranger sniper and like the Sun or Melvo, where they put a little hole in his trunk and started shooting people at Home Depot and at gas stations. Yep. JonBenet. I think it's Burke. I think they're covering for Burke. I think because of the fact that, hey, you lose one of your kids, you're going to cover for the other one. The ransom note was wrote by John, or the dad. I mean, it was his exact bonus. I mean, no one breaks in a house and leaves like a 6-page ransom note, and they didn't find any break-ins. Burke like pooped himself, had anger problems. And again, it's speculation. He's not guilty, but I think it's been a cover-up because you're going to protect your son, right? Your son murdered her. What are you going to have your son, I don't know if he'd probably be too young to go to jail, but you defend your son, right? If I had a daughter and a son, I'd defend my son as much as you wouldn't, it'd be terrible, but you don't want to lose both of them. Go Bears, yeah. Off subject, I love Chicago. That's great. Yep. Thank you. Scott Peterson, yeah. What did it for me with the Scott Peterson case was the fact that where he drove the bodies at like that, God, again, if I remember correctly, because I was starting to think for a second, I was like, oh, maybe he has something. But then where he drove the bodies at that one dam, if I remember, that one spot that he picked, I forgot exactly how it goes. Why he's guilty, but there was something there where it was like, what was he doing right there or something? I don't want to say something I don't know for sure. Yeah. I thought about the Charlie Kirk. It definitely would help boost the algorithm, but then again, we're going to get a pretty back and forth audience here. When I did Epstein, actually, I just posted a short on it, not naming any president or anything, just saying something about a Harvard, like the University of Harvard president. And I was having like death threats on a 15-second short. And then I was like, okay, I'm not doing Epstein. The political stuff starts getting a little bit like you said, it gets toxic real fast. But I mean, the algorithm, holy cow, I posted it and got like 3,000 views in like 15 seconds. Yep, exactly. I agree with Jenny here. Burke, he would poop on JonBenet's things. He had big bed setting problem, and he had a bad temper too. And they're going to cover it up, right? You don't want your other kid, you don't want that to happen to your other kid. And the ransom letter, I mean, it was like, 10 pages. Hey, this is that. Here we go. That's just not realistic. And there was no entry of a break-in. But, I mean, it made for a great conspiracy case for years. I mean, it was like the story of our lives, right? That, the O.J. Simpson trial, JonBenet and O.J., I think, were like the two big ones in the 90s, right? I don't remember that one, the Lighting Case Road killings in Oklahoma. Yeah, yep, there's a lot of that. Yeah, I mean, you're more than likely on the next show, Marlena. If you wanted to call in live and give us some of your bullet points, we're open to hear. I mean, this is an open forum community. or I guess foreign, it could be. I know most people think Scott is guilty, but I'm one person that doesn't, based on the fact that the grandma was pawned by somebody involved in the ball. Now, so okay, you're right. So the burglary across the street is the one issue that kind of can make it a little bit dicey. I don't want to say things that I can't remember, but there was something about Scott Peterson was like drilling. Again, he had a mistress. Typically, people have mistresses. There's stuff that happens, not saying all, but then he was drilling weights in the boat. And then if I remember where he drove the boat to the lake and the position, and then that's where they found him fishing. So he like drove 50 miles out of the way to allegedly dump the body. And then said he was fishing there too. It was like you're fishing where it was 50 miles away. It wasn't like you dumped the body 20 miles away and then went 30 miles north to go fishing. You were either fishing or you were doing something right where the body was discovered. At least in my opinion, that's where I kind of was like, well, but I understand what you're saying. OJ was huge. It was that huge? Yeah, I know. Exactly. You definitely get attacked with that type of stuff. Okay, I think, yeah, he was fishing from a tin can when he supposedly threw a body with anchors without drowning himself. Yeah, I remember that too. All right, well, I think that's it for today, folks. We'll do another live stream. We're going to have some of those new people on. I really appreciate everyone joining the chat. Please make sure you like. Again, if you like the content, please like it. I'm going to try to have a little bit more next time, be a little bit more prepared. This was a little bit more of me just kind of shooting from the hip, kind of put the cart before the horse on this one. But yeah, Marlena, it's tedinvestigates@gmail.com. If you wanted to hop on and do an Idaho4 and hear your take, we'd love to have you on and hear you. Yep. Thank you, Fig. Thanks, everyone. Everyone have a good Thursday. We're one day from Friday. Yes, the recent murders in Austin. Thank you. I started looking into that. I am definitely, thank you, Francie. I'm definitely going to be going into the bio stuff. Thank you for the reminder. And thank you, Marlena. Everyone, you have a great rest of the day. Stay safe out there. And we're almost to Friday. Bye-bye.